welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. This week we are doing a reading all about February 2024, as well as the season of Imbolc in the Celtic wheel of the year, kind of blending a little bit of astrology and a little bit of Celtic wisdom to bring you all sorts of beautiful insights. It is also in February, not only do we start the season of Imbolc, but it's also the Chinese Lunar New Year, but I'm going to do a totally separate reading for that, probably next Monday. So that will be, I don't know, like the last or the first maybe Monday of February. I'll try to get that out by that point. So tapping into February, astrologically, we have the majority of the month in the season of Aquarius, which is all about collective energy. It's about kind of sitting back and allowing that collective current to be the thing that makes things happen in the world. So it's a time when you're supposed to be detaching and resting a little bit in terms of your own personal light, your own personal assertiveness and energy, and really kind of leaning into that group, collaborative, collective energy, and letting the wave of that be the thing that kind of moves the train forward in the year at this point. It's also a season where we can really break free of old shells that we're growing out of. So expanding out of those, getting in touch with our, a new quality of light that's coming into us, and really claiming our own originality outside of things we've grown out of and constructs that are pinning us in. And it's a time to really do things your own way, really show your unique whole spectrum of color, and really embrace your whole originality. By about the 19th of February, we move into Pisces season, which is in the astrological wheel, the end of the year. And so it holds the greatest boundaries, and it's about really surrendering to all of the complexity into kind of like the cosmic energy, and just asking the angelic realm and the cosmic realm to take over sort of the productivity of your life, to surrender the things you can't really hold anymore, to be able to see your shadows and offer them up to the cosmic, and just starting to really lighten up by allowing your baggage to be released and surrendered and dissolved. And with that, being given inspiration and downloads and these deep connections to higher things. In the Celtic wheel, so that part of, astrologically, February to me is very watery. In the Celtic wheel, we start to move into the east of their wheel. We begin the eastward movement in the wheel, which is associated with air. And I love that kind of concoction of water and air, because I think of this as a time of incubating things, letting go of the old and incubating the new. And so there is this thing of like that watery womb, but also of spirit kind of inspiring you and starting to breathe new life. And that's with the Celtic wheel, with starting to move into eastward. And Imbolc is the promise of the rebirth. Imbolc means a swelling of or around the belly, sort of indicating pregnancy and incubation. It's a time when the milk comes into the ewes. We start to see, little birds being born, little signs and symbols of that rebirth coming. And it's sort of like the promise of the rebirth. And it's also a time, I'm going to actually read, so this is the season of the witch deck, and they do one for each of the 8 Celtic seasons. I don't think all 8 are done yet, but most of them are there. So I'm going to read their description of Imbolc since I'm going to be using their deck for that part of the inspiration for February. So the wheel now turns to Imbolc, the midway point between the start of winter and the start of spring. In each deck of the Season of the Witch Oracle deck series, we hone in on one guiding light, our North Star, to represent the energy of each Sabbat, which is one of the their 8 seasons are the Sabbats. Imbolc is associated with patience, hope, transitions, and beginning the ascent back to the light after the darkness of the winter months, among other things. But in our heart, we felt like this is the perfect season to represent the self. It's a time when the harshness of a spiritually dark cycle may bring up feelings of vulnerability or confusion about your next steps, or when you need some encouragement to keep going. We also have found this Sabbat to be the most suited for solitary spiritual work, a time when you turn inward and focus on your hopes and dreams. Each card was brought to light with the hope that it would stimulate self-awareness rather than focusing on other people. Of course, you can use this deck to find answers related to those in your orbit, but ultimately this deck is for those of you who are ready to do your own spiritual work in a deeply nourishing way. We say embrace the energy of being self-centered, not in a self-absorbed way, but a reminder that the common thread for all things in your life is you, and the only thing you truly have control of and ownership of is your energy. Your well-being is critical for developing healthy relationships to everything else that exists in your life. So we have created this deck with you in mind as a portal to finding the answers needed to be authentic, to seek self-care, and to encourage you to take care of your most vulnerable possession, yourself. If you have this deck within your hands, trust that you are meant to begin the beautiful practice of self. We are also honored to have created a tool that would contribute to your journey of fulfillment and self-love. With gratitude, Lorraine and Juliet, which are the writer and illustrator of the deck, I believe. Oh no, they're just the writers of the deck. So I'm also going to be using a tarot deck in this that is the Tuatha de Danann tarot deck, which is deeply connected to the goddess that rules Imbolc, to Brigid. And she is a member of it's a mythical ancient Celtic or Irish tribe, and she's a member of that tribe, and she rules this season connected to poetry and childbirth and fertility, but also connected to metalsmithing and inspiration and fire. She was said to be born with fire in her head. And so, she's the daughter of the High Chief of the Tuatha de Danann, which this deck is inspired by, also a little bit of Arthurian legend in it. So that's the tarot deck we'll be using. I'm also going to use a water deck, an archetype deck, Divine Feather Message to pick up on the air. So we've got a water deck and an air deck, a Tuatha de Danann, an Imbolc. So I'm really trying to tune into this season in all of the ways possible. So let's get our 4 piles, and you can choose whichever one or ones you feel drawn to. Feel free to choose more than one pile if you feel like a lot is maybe starting to feel incubate, that feeling of like a lot incubating in your life, or you just kind of feel called to multiple. This one kind of wants to come out. Forged in the Fire is pile 1. That wants to come out. Horned Owl for pile 2. Antlers for pile 3. Ooh. Let's take this top one. Aquarius. Oh, I love seeing the astrology come out too for pile 4. Okay, so in your reading, we're going to draw one more of these, which could really change it, and all the other cards coming out really changing it. So don't get fixated on the title. Really feel into like the colors and the image and whatever just feels like it's drawing you in for whatever reason. So pile 1, again, we've got Forged in the Fire, pile 2, Horned Owl, pile 3, Antlers, and pile 4, Aquarius. If you need some time to kind of feel into these 4 piles, feel free to pause here. And when you are ready, the timestamps are just in the descriptions, and I'll see pile 1 first. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your February / Imbolc reading. So you guys picked Forged in the Fire. Underneath it says, your strength was crafted through adversity, and mastery only you behold. Beautiful. We're going to pick one more of these, and I'm going to read from the book what these more intricately have to say as sort of the main theme of your February. You have river rocks as well. Okay, so go with the current, dear one. Find peace in letting go. Let life wash over your soul and welcome your becoming. Beautiful. And I love the little creatures in both of your decks. You've got a beautiful moth there and sort of like a fox here. Both cards have snowdrops, so definitely something coming into early blossoming. That's one of the first flowers we will see blossom. Usually during the season of Imbolc, those will start to blossom even when there's maybe a little bit of snow left on the ground if you live in a snowy area. So something early blossoming coming in, just looking at that. But let's read a little bit from the book to see how these 2 cards might blend, what they're both trying to tell you about your season. Okay, we've got 21. Keywords: mastery of a skill, completion of a task, detail-oriented. This was Forged in Fire. Metalsmithing is a centuries-old practice that has literally been honed in fire over countless generations. A master smith knows quality work is in the detail and will spend hours refining to create a superior product. A smith was a sacred part of community, especially during ancient times of constant war. Blades, axes, and armor could make or break a soldier in battle, so taking shortcuts could have deadly consequences. This card guides you to look at the smaller details rather than focusing on the bigger picture. It can mean you're taking too many shortcuts or are in need of additional skills, tools, or education before moving forward with your plans. In the rare instance, this card falls out of the deck in reverse, which it didn't, so we won't go that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then let's read River Rocks, 34. Keywords: going with the flow, finding peace, washing away the old. A river rock has no choice where it goes. Water washes it along the banks, or perhaps a stranger picks it up and throws it in the deep to sink it to the bottom. Wherever the rock lands, it has ended up there where it was supposed to be. And when drawing this card, you two are experiencing something your soul signed up for long before your time on earth. There isn't much you can do to change the outcome of your situation, so you are being guided to go with the flow and let the river rocks fall where they may. This card will generally come to you during times of disappointment and suggest you are only seeing what you've lost. You may not yet know the silver lining of your situation, so focus on finding peace with where you are rather than trying to create a different outcome. Additionally, you are receiving this card because you are having a hard time letting go of the past. It's time to wash away what was, or you'll miss the beauty and joy of your new surroundings. Okay, so kind of these feel a little separate. They don't feel super entwined to me, which means just 2 messages coming to you. I think because of what I picked up on these snowdrops in both images, there is something incubating and it is coming. And I think one thing that may be obstructing the path of blossoming of this new, something new birthing is needing to sort of let go of some things that are, these would be things you already sense are just like not working anymore. And probably things you've grown out of, but you may have attachment to. And it's time to just kind of move into that surrender and see where things land. Kind of put up your hands and like, I give up, I give in. If it stays, it's meant to stay. If it goes, it's meant to go. And that will clear the path for what is incubating something new to come up. And whatever's left from the past is meant to be integrated, and whatever goes was meant to be cleared out. And then the forged in fire, definitely indicating that there may be just like little details you're needing to attend to. Like the book said, it may be around some kind of skill that needs to be sort of more deeply developed, but I get the sense, because Imbolc can be a time of spring cleaning, that it may be also again about this clearing of the way. So like, what are the little details in your life that have gotten cluttered? And it's time to just like pay attention to all those little nooks and crannies that have kind of gotten chaotic and cobwebbed, and maybe even things that you don't really value. The things that end up in the corners and with cobwebs tend to be things we also are kind of actually done with, but still just holding on to. So I'm kind of reading it partially that way. If it resonates to you that there's some kind of skill you're feeling is having a renewal, then you could also look at like paying attention to some details of like honing more detailed skill in something. But in general, it feels like a time of clearing some spaces, really clearing the air, clearing spaces, clearing energies, emotions, whatever it is, because something is going to birth this season. You're going to have an early birth of something, but you need to do some clearing. Okay, let's get a few tarot cards. See what comes out from the tarot wisdom. Let's see, we already have two. Yeah, Ace of Grails. Something is absolutely birthing early for you this season. So clear out the old. Queen of Pentacles. It could be something in the material realm. It could be your sense of kind of command coming in, of ownership coming in, of, let's see, and we got the rest of your cards here. So Seven of Swords and the Empress in reverse. And the Seven of Swords and Empress in reverse feel like that clearing to me. They feel like an old shell that you've grown out of, whether it's something you cultivated about yourself, but it's now trapping what's growing, it's outdated, you're breaking out of it, or it could be a layer that was placed on you that never belonged to you, but there's something you're needing to break out of. Also, there's an old version of self. There's an old version of what kind of creativity you used to be connected to, what kind of fertility you used to be connected to is changing. There's like a whole deeper level of yourself that you're shedding during Imbolc, because a new quality of Empress is incubating, but you need to let go of the old quality of Empress, the old quality of how you connected to creation and fertility and sort of thriving in life. Something's done with how you used to connect to that. And it was just kind of time to, again, it feels like letting stuff go, things. But also maybe even creative projects that you're just like, I don't know if these are me anymore. It's just like clear the plate, because like a whole new quality of fertility and creation is incubating in you. And once you do, you're going to feel very vital, very alive, very creative, and in a mature way, in a way that like you have an eye on how these things can make you feel valued, bring you value for the worth you feel you have. Yeah, so super cool. Okay, let's tap into the water element of this season through Aquarius and Pisces. So like the water bearer and the fish. Winter this quarter in like Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine is also the water time of year. This one I felt. Beneath the surface, what is really driving you? True motives, breaking free. Yeah, exactly. It's time to break free of some old things that are like hampering this new creative quality that's kind of really coming together within. There's new motives. What drives you, what motivates you in terms of creation and fertility is changing. And you have to break free of old ways, because what used to motivate you isn't anymore. So the things you're still doing based on old motivation, just they're stagnant, you know. It's time to get rid of them because of different motivations are coming through. This bottom one wants to come in. The healing lagoon, rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal, it's safe to stop. Absolutely feel that for you guys. It's time to just like let go, heal, let go, let God kind of thing. What stays is meant to stay. What goes is meant to go. So just surrender, rejuvenate, rest, see what comes and goes, what stays and goes, all that, and just tend to your own energy, tend to some resting. There can be a lot of need for rest when you're doing energetic releases to shed layers. You may be shedding some physical things, but you may be shedding some energetic layers too, and both require a lot of, rejuvenation and recovery. Plunge, don't hold back. It's time, go for it, dive in. This is connected to the snowdrop flowers blossoming early this season and this Ace of Grails. You're gonna know when, and I think it will be dependent, it'll be a little different for each of you, but some point in this season, which actually goes until spring equinox, so it goes past February, but even though this is a February reading, Imbolc moves into that spring equinox, or Ostra, at the Sabbat of Ostra, around March 21st every year. So definitely in February and a little bit into March, there's gonna be a transition where you're feeling, that need to shed, release, surrender, rejuvenate. But you're gonna feel this moment where that, like something births, something ignites in you, that new motivation comes through. And when you get that impulse, this is saying go. Yeah. So rest until you feel the go. Okay. We're going to get 2 archetype cards as well to see maybe even more deeply what this is all connected to. The fault line is, this tags into breaking free. You're breaking free of a really big layer, a very big old layer of yourself is shedding. And it doesn't surprise me, the North Node is going through Aries right now, so we all on some level are like rebirthing. And then the ring cycles, which that feels very connected to what I just said. There is a universal cycle in place right now where we're all doing this on some level, but for some reason, this season in particular, and this moment is big for you. It's like you're doing this early. It's like you have a little bit of a head start from most people in kind of tapping into that Aries North Node. I definitely feel like we have to get to our solar returns with these North Node things for them to like really manifest in our life. So some of you may be having birthdays this month or have recently had birthdays, which means you have that North Node in your solar return chart. If that's not the case, there may be just like other things going on in your chart in general, just in your energy, where you're just ready for a new cycle. It's time to crack out of an old you and a whole new cycle coming through. And then let's get a message from our Lightworker Oracle. Oh, beautiful. Love, wisdom. I think a much more loving and wise version of you is coming through. Motivation for your creativity and fertility is much more connected to love and wisdom. And that maybe is why you're getting like an earlier rebirth of self than some people. Is like you've done some deep work to be connected to yourself in a loving way and to recognize your wisdom, and you've just been really proactive about doing some deep work and letting go of old senses of self. I feel like you're already ready to kind of do this work then. Like you're well on your way, and it's just like you're just in the last dregs of kind of shedding this old you. And so really, really let go into that and really clear some energies and spaces. And at some point before spring equinox, you're going to feel that light switch turn on, that go, that new direction, that new creative spark, that new connection, like new kind of motivations in terms of like creation and fertility. Really beautiful. Okay, last, let's tap into... Oh, I do have actually 2 different decks left. So we're going to tap into the air realm for Imbolc with the Divine Feather message. We're going to get a few of these for you. White Owl. The wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. Yeah, trust yourself. I think you're well on the way to the work we've already been talking about here. Okay. It's like you already have some inner knowing about all of this. It's just hopefully confirmation. Ooh, actually, these are too many. I'm just going to take the top one here. Stand tall and proud. See the leadership role unfolding ahead of you. This feels like that Queen of Pentacles, like whatever new quality of fertility is about to birth and the new motivation you're tapped into. It's like you are really standing in your strength, really ready to hold some leadership because you're feeling a new quality of strength. Okay, let's get one more feather message. And white swan. Look at these: white owl, white swan, and then this bold red. This feels like the clearing, the resting, and then that spark, that fire. Okay, white swan, the power of divine grace is within you. Feels like this is very similar. The wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. The power of divine grace is within you. So wisdom and grace, a little different. Grace might be that thing of like needing to let go of certain things. There's a certain quality of grace needed to kind of let go of baggage. It can be filled with a little bit of grief, but also elegance, and it really is a maturing energy. And falling under that queen, yeah, there may be some things that you're needing to let go of. The things you're cracking out of could be things that have held some grief for you, but through that you're being reborn as this much stronger, and we see that forged in the fire, a much stronger character. Like whatever layer you're shedding was forged in the fire. You've kind of been through it, but you're going to rebirth that new quality of fertility and motivation for creation. Are so much more wise, so much more powerful, so much, it's been forged in the fire. Beautiful. Okay, last we're just going to do some more kind of with the tea leaves, just some little things. They're a little bit more like little direct kind of things that may come this season. So scales, keep your life in balance. Oops. Table, hard work ahead. And I think that's once you feel that spark, that impulse to leap, that rebirth. And I think at that point you'll be eager and ready for that. Oops. And then this one, chair filled, someone new is entering your life. Very cool. Whatever this new quality and new motivation and quality of fertility and creation that's coming in is going to be attracting, yeah, someone new, chair filled, which means someone old may be going or has already gone. Yeah. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope it resonated. Always appreciate support with likes and shares and subscribes. Also very grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. Also, I don't always talk about it, but I'm trying to make an intention to remember to. I do have a SUBSTACK, which I put a link to in the descriptions, which I put out a once a month kind of astrological forecast for the month ahead. So the February one will be upcoming very soon. And then for people who are paid subscribers, I do like by sign horoscopes and taroscopes and that kind of stuff as well. But there's a lot of like free content too. So definitely check out my Substack if you want some more kind of astrological insight into February. Okay, I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your February/Imbolc reading, and you guys chose the card that is Horned Owl, and underneath it says, become the shadow that watches, keeping quiet while moving intentionally. Ooh, kind of mysterious. Okay, we're gonna get a second card to add to this to kind of give, using both of them to really find some sort of theme about your month. And technically, this does encompass part of March as well. This is definitely a February reading, but Imbolc goes until spring equinox, which is about March 21st. So this will spill over into March, but the majority of it definitely encompassing February. Serpent. A lot of animal energy here. Owls always make me think of wisdom, and serpent of sort of connecting to, you know, that Kundalini rising. So like our energy being grounded to sort of feel our radiance and recycle things in order to like regenerate and release new life force. And then that shedding of the snake is like always connected to being able to rebirth, which is very much so kind of a spring feeling. There's also like a little insect thing here. I'm not sure what it is. This one says, slither through and out as you shed in preparation for a new beginning. Okay, let's read from the book for each of these to get a little bit more context from each one and see how these are interacting for a theme for you. Particularly interested in this one. It felt very mysterious. So Horned Owl, keywords: moving with stealth, keeping quiet, watching, and learning. A horned owl makes no sounds when she flies through the air, as she is a master at moving in silence while also taking in everything around her. She is constantly watching, listening, and avoiding potential danger while seeking out her prey. Ooh. When pulling this card, your guidance is to remain silent when it comes to the question you have asked. I don't know if you guys have a question on your mind. You may think of one right now. You could even pause here for a minute before I go forward. Okay. There is nothing you can do or say that will change someone else's opinion, so it is best to leave people to their thoughts and go on your way. Instead, watch and learn about those around you. What can you observe about their behaviors? Do their actions match their words? This card suggests there are people who are only supporting you verbally, or that their back is way more, or that their bark is way more than their bite. You may not be able to count on them when the time comes, and when you need them the most. Additionally, this card guides you to keep your plans under lock and key because some dreams and goals are too big for small-minded people. Don't risk introducing doubt into your plans because of the opinions of people who don't have the vision to see the value in your ideas. Very fascinating. This is like seed energy to me. When I do new moon intentions, I do not share what those are for a few months. Things are very, when you're beginning something and incubating something, they're very susceptible to any sort of energy that starts mingling with it. And so any outside energy you introduce into a new seed, a new thought, a new dream, a new thing you want to incubate, is susceptible to anything that you bring from the inside or from the outside. And sometimes lovely energy could be added from the outside, but you can't control that. And so I always just find it best to keep these inner dreams, things I'm trying to incubate, to myself. So there may or may not be people that sort of have your back or would support a vision or that you could count on. To me, that doesn't even matter. It's just more about letting your dreams mingle with your own energy. So being the direct co-creator with the universe and not letting other people be involved in that co-creation, because these are very personal things. They should be entangled in your own energy and protected from outside energy to be, purely connected to your intention and your dream. Okay, let's read from Serpent. Keywords: reinvention, second chance, growing pains. Creativity doesn't have an expiration date, and it's never too late to welcome a new addition into your life. Yeah, I just get the feeling for some of you, whatever you're incubating, thinking about, dreaming about, it's not too late. That is a message coming through. It's not too late. Don't have doubts about that, like, am I too late? No. Just when you think everything is over and you've lost what you've worked so hard for, or maybe you've missed the boat, you, like the serpent, can shed your skin and reinvent yourself entirely. The serpent card will make its way when a second chance is upon you. Any missed opportunity will soon be replaced with another. Forgiveness is close at hand, or perhaps you are about to have another shot at love. If your reading is about your career, pulling this card can mean a career change and is a good omen for seeking new employment. Consider a physical makeover if that feels good to you. What might the person you're becoming dress like, or how might they behave? Can you embrace some of these qualities now? This card, however, does come with a note of caution. Growing pains can sometimes make transitions difficult. Remain patient and know that any challenges you face are temporary blocks to overcome. Ooh, okay. So something is incubating about you. It may be entangled in things you've wanted to do in the past, or that you've been doing but haven't really connected to, like, in an opportune way. So whether it's new or like a reinvention of something you've already put energy into, now is a time to really keep to yourself what you're newly seeing and dreaming in relation to, like a new you, an updated, a 2.0 you that's coming. Keep that to yourself. Work on that yourself. Dream to yourself about this. have confidence in it, trust it, know that what is coming is going to be a better version, is that updated, upgraded. Like you may sort of feel like the times, for some of you, you may feel like the times have kind of passed you by and you're like, I don't understand the world right now. I feel like I've been left behind. But you may have just sort of needed a little extra time for some reason due to certain attachments or fixations or whatever it is to like really let the world as it is now and the world around you kind of mingle with your own energy, and something about that's now happening. So like that upgrade, that update that you've kind of felt like maybe other people have had but you've been left behind is coming this season. But keep it to yourself right now. Keep it private, keep it connected to your dreams, keep this really connected to a co-creation between you and the ethers, the spirit world. But yeah, some kind of new updated version of you coming out, and that could be around your whole sense of self, which does, I do think, like the snake wearing a new skin, maybe come with like an updated look, which is a look that now puts you in a life that looks a different way. So that could be, like it said, connected to career or anything else, but it's like a different version of you is about to walk out. And I feel like you've skipped a version, you know, like you went from the first iPhone to the fifth. It was like the second, third, and fourth, kind of like you just held on to the old version for a long time. Maybe you're one of those people. I can be one of those people where like I don't get every new update of a phone. I'll just like hold on to my old one until it just doesn't work anymore. And then I'll skip ahead like 3 updates later or something. So that might be kind of the vibe here. But there's still something about like, you know, keep this private, keep it protected, really use this incubation month to really dream about what this update in you is. Okay, let's move on to some tarot cards to get a little more context here. Got 3 of Swords. That may be part of a motivation to finally update. Let's take the top here. 8 of Pentacles. Knight of Spears. And 5 of Spears. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to pull these forward to see them a little better. Yeah, I feel like the motivation for finally going back to that like updating a phone, for me, usually when I do that, it's because I've like broken, shattered my phone or something. But an old version of you may feel the same, like something got broken, and I think it was other people that broke that version of you a little bit. Some disappointment, some betrayal, or it could have even been envy or jealousy of like seeing other people kind of moving on and like stepping into new versions of themselves. Whatever resonates for you, but that there's some motivation in terms of either you being disappointed or betrayed in some way, or seeing updates, suddenly really noticeably seeing updates in others where you're like, oh wow, like I think I'm ready for that too. But there's something about that's motivating you to kind of shed your old skin and move forward. During this incubation time, you may really want to focus on practicing some kind of skill. So that does, the snake was talking about career, that's coming through in the cards too. So there's something about a skill set that you could be more deeply honing right now while you're waiting for this new version of you to come through. Knight of Spears, I feel like you're eager. You may be a little impatient for this, but it's like, it's a process. It will come. It's coming this season before spring equinox. So like, relax about it is what I'm feeling. But I feel like when it does come, when you feel that skin shed and feel that new skin on you, you're going to be really like, you're already kind of like ready to charge forward, but Spirit's saying like, well, do some rest, practice some things, let go of some stuff. I know you're already feeling like you're ready to charge out, but that will even be further and further amplified by kind of like relaxing about it and just being in this process that you're feeling now. And then 5 of Spears. Planning. That's why you need to be patient. You're in a planning process. But the 5 of Spears also indicates you're very connected to your heart in this. You're very connected to creativity and heart in the planning. So be patient, allow yourself time to make strategy, to make plans, to dream about what's coming. And then when the time is right, you'll know, and you can charge out with that eagerness you're already feeling. Yeah. Okay, whoops. All right, let's tap into, how I mentioned in the intro, the astrology signs this month, and also in like traditional Chinese medicine. They're both very connected to water right now, so I wanted to pull out a deck connected to water to bring some wisdom about this season. Ride the wave, life lessons and growth. You will get through this. Yeah, you're growing. There's like nothing it's like you don't need to put in a lot of energy and like the planning is sort of naturally occurring. It's like through dreams. Let yourself imagine and dream. Those are kind of like how you're planning right now. And you're actually, those plans are a co-creative thing with Spirit. So as you are kind of dreaming about this updated version, you are naturally growing out of a skin. And just like a snake, you actually don't really need to do anything other than like nourish yourself, because that skin is going to come off, and the skin underneath that updated you is already like well underway to forming. And that's where I feel like you kind of sense that. But this is sort of like just ride that wave with the co-creation process. Like growth is happening. Growing pains may be sensed because like letting go of the old and believing that you're going to like kind of rebirth into this update can feel awkward and weird and uncertain. And but there's a wave there's a force behind this, and just ride that force. It will take care of the movement. You don't really need to do much other than like feel the force, move with the force, embrace that force. Like she looks to me like she's surfing. Just like do your best to kind of like stay up and move with that force in the way that feels good to you. And through that, you'll have these inspirations that will be kind of these natural plans that come into your head. It's like you don't need to use your head that much. Like inspired thoughts will just happen that are like the plans. Filling this one. The sacred well, replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. Yeah, rest a little bit. just like that, the wave is the thing with the power, with the energy. So relax about having to do anything. I feel like I've kind of already said that, but this feels like even further coming through. It's just like nourish yourself, give to yourself, care for yourself, fill your cup back up, because when it's time to go, that new version of yourself may feel eager to give of itself, to be generous, to share of itself. But in order to be full enough to give, you need to feel rested. You need to feel rejuvenated. This one wanted to come out. Into the unknown, underworld, death, courage, facing your fears. So part of what you're shedding is definitely stuff that has, accrued wounds, has accrued things that may be hard to let go of, but like a deep process of healing is taking place, and it just means really surrendering, going into that deep dark place to see what's there. And I feel like the wave is kind of taking you into that and then through it. And so again, it's like you don't need to do anything to go to the depths, to the underworld, to face your fears. The wave is taking you there. Just give into that wave. Where spirit is moving you, where circumstances are moving you, they will take you into that place. So just face what you see, and it's going to push you past and out of it and into that new skin. But it's almost like you just need to see these last little shadows and wounds and face what needs to be faced about the old skin that's shedding, like really integrating lessons that you've learned through wearing that old skin. Okay, we are also going to get a couple of archetype cards to see if it can get any more specific about what this all is in relation to. The threshold, yep, new beginning. This is a big update for you. And agape, oh, I love seeing this. Whatever the new version of you, the update that comes out, you're going to feel very devoted to it. You're going to feel it as very sacred, very beautiful, and something that is like that feeling of like awe, of like, oh, wow, and feeling very devoted to that new skin, that new update, that new version of you that you start to see and witness. And that new version of you also in itself having a quality of a deepness and richness and connection to life, and really devoting to what's beautiful in life. And then a light worker, dark night of the soul. Yeah. That makes me, so like into the unknown, underworld depths, that actually gives me some insight. I think that's where you are. I think you're in your dark night of the soul, trying to face the things you've needed to face in order to get to that update. And the wave is going to come along to help you. There's nothing you need to do to try and get out of it, but just surrender and experience what's in that dark night of the soul. And a wave is naturally coming in and will pick you up and take you out of there. So just relax into that, because as you just surrender into this, the underworld, your depths, dark night of the soul, facing some fears, just be with that. And once you've really settled into being with that and facing what you're facing right now, that wave is just kind of like, you're not creating any wave, you're not creating any movement, you're not finding the way out. A wave is coming in to pick you up and bring you out, and to help bring that old skin off of you and push you out into the world with the new skin. But you're going to feel very ready. Okay, just a couple more decks left. I want to tap now into the air element of Imbolc with some divine feather messages for you. Woo! Well, we got all three at once. They all wanted to come out like real quick. Loon, pay attention to your dream time. Messages of guidance are drifting in. Yeah, and that's where I feel like that updated version where you need to keep that private and source that and co-create that through your dream time. So really pay attention to daydreaming, dreaming, images, sensations, feelings you have about this update, what you want it to feel like and be like. And it's like up to you to really design what this new update is, you know? So be a little bit proactive about dreaming. Don't get too like mentally oriented, like really get into more dream. You could put in like trance, you know, put on like trance music or anything that helps you to kind of like get into a zone of just letting your imagination flow. And then we've got Blackbird. The magical and unique qualities of your untapped potential are unfolding now. Beautiful. So this new version is really, really tapping into some untapped things, which is really, really cool to see. And then Goose, your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. And this is saying like, this will happen at some point before spring equinox. So relax about the timing. It's beginning basically today. Like a month and a half is nothing. At some point in a month and a half, that's basically today. This journey, this new skin is coming. Beautiful. Okay, to end, we're just going to get a few tea leaf messages that are a little bit more little specific kind of poignant things. So gravel, involvement with the law. Interesting. I don't know, that Three of Swords, maybe something where you're coming out of sort of, whether it's literally the law or not, you may be coming out of a time where you've really had to do a lot of work to understand a certain quality of fairness and justice and trust in others kind of thing. Understanding relationships, and we see that with the Three of Swords. That does feel resonant. I don't know if it's literally the law, but it feels very just connected to finding kind of balance and fairness and trust in others and boundaries with others and maturity with others kind of thing. This one, the Claw, be careful, do not take risks. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is like really pointing out like the horned owl part where it's like keep things private and safe. Like whatever's incubating, you may, because this gravel showed up, I do get this indication that like you like maybe to relate with others, but you may be someone who is easily trusting, and you just in the moment when you're kind of relating feel inspired to share things where after you're like, ooh, I don't know if I should have shared that. It feels like that's the risk where it's saying like keep some things private, even if you're feeling inspired when you're talking to someone because they're talking about, you know, maybe some similar things, or it's just something that you could say that helps bring connection or that you can relate to. It's like, take a pause though, and don't yet. Even though it may bring some relational closeness, this thing that's incubating is not meant for that right now. It's meant to be very private. So don't take the risks of opening up to others about what's incubating this update in you. And Fox, which is an animal associated with Bridget, the goddess, which would indicate to me that she is watching you very closely. Shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. So work coming up again. Watch, something's happening in career or business. And it's time to kind of take a step back and observe. And there's going to be like an opening that will match the timing of you feeling that initiative and that new skin to reveal. It'll be like near the same time, like some kind of professional opening is going to happen. And if you take some time to be watching and observant, you're going to, like, that's how you see this opening. And it'll kind of be like this interesting, unique window that's really fit for you, but it's like going to open and close very quickly. So it's like you have to be aware and watching, because that opportune moment is the time you need to strike. And you'll know that timing as well, because you'll have that impulse of like, oh yeah, I do feel reborn. I feel that new skin, and like I really want to go. So like more practical things is like suddenly you have this new haircut and you've bought a couple like some new clothes and you feel put together in a very different way. That might be a sign of like, oh, I should be opening my eyes. Is there some interesting opportunity that I've sort of already been observing, and is that door suddenly open now? Go when you see it open. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope it was insightful, helpful, giving you some guidance for the next at least February, but also until spring equinox, technically. So if this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes and shares and subscribes. Always very grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And I'm trying to be more intentional also about sharing that I do have a Substack as well as this channel, where I do monthly astrological forecasts and horoscopes. A lot of it's free. The by sign horoscopes are something that is a paid feature, but there's plenty of beautiful stuff that is free with that Substack subscription. There's a link to it in my description, so you can jump in there and check it out if you want. That is before I ever got into tarot, which I've done for quite a while now, but I've studied astrology for like 25 years. So that's really my super mastery, and I love sharing that as well. So go check out my Substack if you feel inclined. And yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful day wherever and whenever you are, and I will see you in future readings. Hello, beautiful pile 3. Welcome to your February reading / Imbolc reading. So this reading takes you absolutely through the energy of February, but it also mingles a little bit into March, since Imbolc really lasts through spring equinox, which is about March 21st. So majority is February, bleeding a little bit into March as well here. Okay, so you guys picked the antlers card. So beautiful. I really love these antlers. Okay, so allow the magic of who you are to be seen by the eyes you keep. You are enough, my dear. Take ease in receiving. Interesting. Okay, beautiful. We're also going to get a second card from this deck to weave together sort of a main theme for this time for you. And I will be reading from the guidebook to really get into the details of the intention of the card. And really, oh, snowdrops, that's interesting. This kind of came up in a different pile, so if pile 1 also called out to you, because snowdrops, even though it wasn't the card, like they appeared on the cards and it became kind of a thing, pile 1 may call out to you as well. Okay, when all seems to stem from the unknown, hold firm in knowing that all will be as it should. Beautiful. I love the antlers, and I don't know exactly what these are, but they have the same feel as the antlers. So something, and crystals at the top of them, and on here flowers at the top of them. It feels like really being open to guidance from spirit in a huge, huge way. And then these candles and the emergence of the sun over here feels sort of like a lightening up and a protection as well. Crystals around her could be like a protection. It feels like a lot of protection and a lot of kind of lightening up and a lot of downloads. Okay, but let's read from the book and see what the creators of these cards intended in more depth. Okay, so antlers, keywords, receiving gifts, once in a lifetime, and you are enough. Ooh. Seeing a white stag is said to be an incredible gift that brings an omen of good fortune for those lucky enough to receive this incredible sight. Lucky enough to receive this, receiving the antler card is likewise a wonderful gift to remind you that if something is being offered to you, it is because you're worthy of receiving it. You have the right to accept every good thing you experience without needing to diminish it. In fact, it is considered poor taste to turn gifts down in many cultures. So imagine how someone might feel if you disagreed with the compliment they've given you, or you said no to something offered in genuine kindness. The situation you have inquired about is safe to say yes to, and more than that, you are encouraged to embrace it with welcome arms. This may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Know that of all of the billions of people in this world, you are the one chosen to receive this opportunity, meet this person, or have this idea. So don't question your worth. You are more than enough just as you are. So this is saying like, because whatever it is you're about to receive may seem above and beyond what you feel worthy of or deserving of, doesn't mean that you aren't. And so just get into that receptive mode, and with your heart, accept with gratitude. I do feel this need to like really open your heart with a certain kind of gentleness, like thinking of like getting into the mode of receptivity and receiving. I always think of like holding flower petals. You still need some kind of some kind of structure, some kind of container to put out. But there's a softness, there's a gentleness. You're not like shaking a hand or doing something. You're just holding. You're just like the container to hold something. And that's all you are. Whatever this gift is just needs a container to hold it. And you're that container. So be the container. Just be. Hold some kind of form and structure that allows things to beautifully land in it. Okay, let's read Snowdrop. Keywords: consistency, determination, trust, staying the course, knowing things will work out. Snowdrops, which are a dainty, delicate white flower, are determined to spread hope, bursting through the cold, frozen earth. Their arrival lets us know spring isn't far behind. You were guided to this card because Spirit wants you to stay the course. Spirit knows you have faced overwhelming challenges, and you have asked yourself whether now is the time to wave the white flag. The answer is no. Your dedication and consistent effort will generate results much sooner than you think, but you must be willing to trust that all will be well. Your success won't be immediate or arrive with big flashing lights, but it will be stable and it will support you for many years to come. If you're wondering whether or not an idea, project, or connection will be a success, pulling this card is a sign not only that you will experience success, but that commitments to this path will be more than you can possibly imagine. Ooh, I love this. Stay the course. What is it that you've been putting a lot of effort into and haven't felt sort of birth into life with like clarity and magnetism and traction? This is saying like that is coming, like keep going. And I felt in this, a similar thing I tuned into in pile one with Snowdrops, that like an early spring is coming for you. So whatever is about to birth, whatever is about to finally get its traction, finally get its movement, its connection, whatever it is to you, it is coming in early. So I would imagine it will come sometime in February, so before spring equinox. like an early spring coming for you. And I do intend these cards to relate to each other somehow. So there may be, maybe the gift that's coming in, the thing you're supposed to receive, is sort of like traction for whatever the snowdrops means to you, or some kind of message or breakthrough or funding or resources or love, like whatever it is. I think it connects to it. Doesn't have to be exactly the thing that gets this off the ground, but it like has a beautiful, it can affect this in a beautiful way. So open to receiving something beautiful. And when that comes in, think about how that might help the thing you've been putting a lot of dedication into, and then keep going. This might sustain you for some reason to keep going with this. And then something's going to have like a turn a corner with this, and it will really all of a sudden have traction and pickup and clarity and vision and whatever. And you're getting downloads to help you with that as well. So receptivity in that sense, these are different receptivity. Receptivity for gifts, which these are very tangible, fruits, flowers and fruits and whatnot. And then these are like crystals, and so that feels sort of like downloads and ideas. And special help, but a lot of protection overall too. So just keep going, be receptive, trust that you're worthy enough and valuable and deserve success and deserve to receive beautiful things. Yeah, this feels very feminine in nature. Just really indulge in feeling worthy and beautiful and receptive, and that sometimes life should give to you. You don't always have to be the one that makes things happen. Sometimes things can be offered to you and accepted. So we're going to do a few tarot cards now. 10 of Grells. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, all of them fell out at once. Let's see. 10 of Grells and 9 of Grells. Those are two of the best minor arcana cards in the deck, in my opinion. The World. Wow. And Judgment. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is... Okay, let me just... Actually, I want to see these a little better. Wow. In both of these, it's like in the World... This is like Isis with Horus, or Mary Magdalene with Jesus. They're all allegories of one another. It's like the miracle birth. And then this is this feels like Mary Magdalene receiving the vision of Jesus or something. Wow. But in either case, these both feel like Mary Magdalene, and she's very much so connected to miracles. So whatever is coming in, the downloads you receive and the gift you receive, and then the traction and value you feel kind of starting to flow into your life may feel miraculous to you. But like I said earlier, it's because you've made yourself the container that would hold such a thing. So receive it, because you are the one that created that container that attracted this in. So receive it with grace and beauty and heart, It's going to change things for you. It's going to be a whole new chapter. Something's being lifted off of you as well. It's like you've really completed. Both of these can also be completions and rebirths. It's like you've completed this massive karmic and psychological process. you're now mastering whatever that was about, which is lightening up sort of the hard work of what it took to get there. And now it's just like second nature. And so all of that psychological digging and hard working to build structures and authority and respect, it's like you've completed that. Now you can just be that. And it may seem miraculous to others, but you know full well that you've done the work here. Yeah, wow. Big stuff. And what is coming in? Wish fulfillment and harmony, and ability to hold all of your dreams with grace and beauty and harmony and make things flow, because you've really started to come at life through your heart and trust yourself, and yeah, just an ability to hold everything with ease, and some kind of wish fulfillment. Yeah, wow. This is impressive and beautiful. And I just feel the need to say, like, deserving, very deserving. Okay, let's also get some, we're gonna tap into, oh, sorry, these are kind of crooked. We're gonna tap into the water element with, you know, this season astrologically and in traditional Chinese medicine having kind of a water association. I want to see what that element has to say. Atlantis, keep the big vision, stay in alignment as you grow. And that feels like that thing of like dedicating yourself to, like, don't give up, don't call it and wave that white flag, don't do it yet. Keep focus, keep the course, stay the course. You're really close to a breakthrough. Keep the vision and stay in alignment. Gentle force, consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Your long game is about to pay off. This isn't saying you're about to enter the long game. The long game you've already been playing is about to pay off, and it will give you the world. It will give you wish fulfillment. It will really, a lightening up is coming in this. It's like you've passed certain tests you've been through that this staying the course and long game have put you through. Going forward, there's still a long game, but it's going to be easier. You're going to be very, very capable and confident going forward. So it won't feel like a weighted long game. It will feel like a pleasurable long game now, like on top of the world. But you've played the long game to get there, and now you have a long game ahead of you in holding what you've developed. And the wellspring. What are you thirsty for? Body care, take a breath. And so this is saying, like, even though it's like not time to give up and to stay the course and stay persistent and dedicated, it is a season to be in a little bit more dream time and rejuvenation. So it's like, even though you're not like giving up or waving the white flag, doesn't mean you can't take breaks. And sometimes it's in those breaks and in the rejuvenation that we get that we're open enough to get like the downloads we need. We're relaxed enough to let things suddenly kind of assimilate and make sense in a new way. And this does with the antlers. It shows her resting. She's closing her eyes and resting. So it's like, don't give up, but don't like put yourself into workhorse mode either. Like, stay the course, do what you need to do to keep certain things going, whatever it connects to for you about this persistence and long game, but like, don't overdo it. Like, do what you need to keep things afloat, but schedule in that downtime, take it a little bit easier on yourself. Don't feel like you have to do every single thing all the time. Like, sometimes if you miss something here or there, it's fine. It's kind of the thing. Like, the main message is don't throw in the towel, but do allow yourself more rest, because that's exactly what you need to get the download to get that new kind of assimilation of something that really makes sense and that helps you to turn the wheel to get to the top of your summit and to kind of complete some sort of karmic lesson you've been through. Karmic journey. Okay, we're going to get a couple of archetype cards to see if we can hone in even further in terms of what this all relates to for you. The dead end. You may feel like it's time to throw in the towel. You may feel like spirit and all the messages and all of the synchronicities and things happening to you right now are saying like throw in the towel, it's time to stop. But that dead end isn't saying throw in the towel, it's saying relax. Give yourself a beat, allow some rejuvenation and recuperation, because you will get the green light once you do that, because you need to be in that more relaxed mode to receive what you're supposed to receive in terms of a gift, and to receive what you're supposed to receive in terms of like a download that will help you turn a corner here. And the flame. So that rejuvenation is going to reignite something in you. Not reignite, but light like a new flame, a different flame in you. And that's why you needed to come to a full stop and get some rest, is like the flame you are using to kind of move things forward in your life maybe isn't the flame you're meant to continue with. Like the Judgment and the World are both these completion cards. And it's like the flame of the long game and long journey are over, and a new flame is lighting for standing at the top of things, for receiving your dues, and then playing the long game of like being in that and being in that confidence. It's a different kind of flame. And so you need to kind of let the old flame go out, let downloads and gifts come in, and let that reignite a different kind and quality of flame. Okay, let's get a Lightworkers card for a little bit more on that new flame. And it's like a gentle flame too. It's like easy. It's like a flame of things being easy because you've reached the top and you've reached your authority and capability and confidence. And it's like you've deserved the right for things to be easy. So now you can just sit at the top and be gentle. Yeah, Master Hilarion. You've come into mastery. So don't quit. You're just coming into a new quality of flame, and things are just about to start in a very different way for you. You're about to feel that confidence. You're about to feel that being able to sit in your sense of mastery with gentleness and confidence. It's not like an egotistical mastery. It's like a knowingness mastery, and a mastery you want to share to improve things for others. You want to share it with the world. Yeah, it's a beautiful, this quality of mastery to me feels really beautiful. Feels very giving, very sharing, very compassionate. It's not from an egotistical place at all, and maybe that's why it's taken so long for whatever you've been persistent with to really take off, is because you've done it in a very humble, beautiful, compassionate way. And that's a road that not a lot of people in our modern world take. They just throw their ego out there and claim mastery way before they have mastery. And so when they get to the top, they're more kind of like these brute forces that use force to stay at the top. And this is like very different and much more attractive and more magnetic and more stable. There's no force needed to stay here because you belong there, right? Gorgeous. Okay, last couple things we're going to tap it now into the air quality of Imbolc and get some divine feather messages for you. The Finch, new opportunities and choices are opening to you now. Claim them. These feel like the gifts and the downloads. It's like a new way of, now that you've reached the top, you see a whole new, with that new flame, a whole new way of doing things that's easier and more sustainable and more successful. So what's to come out? Condor, hold the highest vision for your life. You now possess the ability to move past any hurdles. And that's what, I mean, we've talked about that. Like you're reaching the top, but it's been a climb. It's been the long game. There's been a long journey and things to learn and yeah, difficulties to overcome and having to work with psyche and mastery and also like all a holistic conglomerate of things. And then Blue Jay, the time is right to access and master your abilities. Do so with humility and control. What was I just saying? Exactly. So gorgeous. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is just some tea leaves, which are kind of these more poignant, pointed kind of things. Nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So this could be a time where you can surround yourself with people you feel safe with, who feel that ability to rest and feel more gentle in life and feel some security, because something's about to birth, yeah, it's like this new quality of light is about to birth, and you're birthing into this new kind of master status. Apple, temptation will test you. I feel like that's the temptation to be a workhorse, to not feel like you're capable or deserving, or life is supposed to be hard. This thing that whatever connects to you around what you had to be persistent with always has to be hard, and a temptation to like stay in that thought process and hold on to that old flame instead of letting that flame go out while still continuing, and then a new flame coming in. So don't hold on to the past way of doing or being or feeling deserving. Like open up to receiving, open up to deserving, open up to your mastery. Open up to that just being something you deserve, and for it to be easy because you've done the heavy lifting. Good news. Yep. Beautiful. So by spring equinox, and because there was the snowdrop, I feel like by the end of February, you're going to be moving, transitioning from the old flame to the new flame, and some kind of good news coming in for you. That might be that gift. Yeah. All right. That's where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate likes and shares and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. And I'm trying to be more intentional about also letting you guys know about my Substack, which is kind of like a newsletter platform. I once a month put out a kind of astrological forecast. And then for those who are paid subscribers, there's sort of like by sign horoscopes and tarot scopes and that kind of stuff, but a lot of beautiful free content as well. I've been doing, tarot readings and oracle for quite some time now, but for way, way, way more time, I have been an astrologer for like 25 years or something. So that's really like a deep mastery I have. So I love sharing that as well through that Substack. I used to have a website. I've kind of collapsed that, and I'm redoing a website, so that will be coming in the future as well. So yeah, check that out if you want. A link is in the descriptions, and I will see you guys in future readings. All right, see ya. Hello, beautiful pile 4. Welcome to your February / Imbolc reading. So technically this will bleed into March through until about spring equinox, but for sure encompassing all of February. So you guys got the Aquarius card, which I love. I haven't read this card yet, but Aquarius is one of my favorite signs, what it represents. And, you know, obviously it was made to match the astrological season that is, you know, incorporated in Imbolc, which is Aquarius season. Okay, so let's read this, what it says underneath. All are capable of dreaming, but it is those who surrender to vision who are visionaries. Ooh, I love that. Aquarius, one of its many meanings is envisioning the future, but to be able to do that, you really do have to surrender into like out of personal creativity and into kind of collective energy. So you have to be really kind of dissolved of your sense of self and ego to tap into being able to do that. So this is saying something about this season. You may have a breakthrough with that, of being able to understand the process of envisioning, process of having hope and belief in the future, and feeling that quality of visionary. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, we're going to get one more card from this deck, and we'll see how these two interact to really come up with your February/Imbolc theme. Feeling this card. Cinnamon rolls. I love it. Who doesn't love a winter cinnamon roll? Okay, 14. Warm my heart. All deserving comfort resides in my heart. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to read from the guidebook to see what the creators of the deck intended for each of these. Giving a little more context and seeing how these may collaborate in their inner energies. So Aquarius, keywords: visionary, individuality, and risk-taking. Aquarius energy is all about vision and independence. I would, not to edit other people's writing, but I would put originality there instead of independence. I feel like Aries is a little bit more the independence, and I get where independence comes from for Aquarius, but to me it's more about like really claiming the whole spectrum of who you are, really showing your original colors, flying your freak flag, really letting out everything about you and not caring what anyone thinks. So there, you know, there is an aspect of independence there, but it's a little bit more of a sharing quality at the same time, that originality. Okay, the answer to your question cannot be found in your past or in what is familiar, and will require you to take some risks, try something new, or find a favorable outcome. While you may wish to seek additional guidance or have considered opinions from people you trust, this card indicates the way forward is for you and you alone to decide. And that's that originality. No one else can really, it is about going your own way, doing your own thing, but in contribution, as a contribution to the world. Okay. Give yourself a chance to go after what you want, even if it feels unrealistic or impossible. Naysayers may consider your actions reckless, but that's only because they can't see the possibilities that are so clear to you, perhaps because this is your contribution to the world or a gift that is meant specially for you. New ideas, unconventional means, and eclectic partnerships are favored when this card is received. Don't be afraid to stand out due to concern about looking silly. Pulling this card is a fortuitous sign that fortune favors the bold. Yeah. So visions that you come into, feeling of visionary elements, that really pull on you to courageously be yourself in a way that others may not fully understand. Know that it is pulling you toward a future that is unique to you and that does contribute to the world because it's coming from such an original place. It really adds color to the world, right? Okay, and then 14, let's see. cinnamon rolls, keywords, love, self-love, comfort, being content, and peace. The cinnamon rolls card is a positive omen, and especially for love readings, as it can mean a significant commitment, such as a declaration of love or a proposal, is very near. This is a sweet card that appears in your reading when all seems right in your emotional world. The feeling is one of being at peace and taking joy in realizing all or most of your emotional desires have manifested for you. This card may also mean your gratitude and commitment to a positive outlook have drawn to you the good fortune you are now experiencing. More and more, you will find yourself welcoming extra abundance, support, and blessings into your life. But don't forget to share your good favor with your community, and especially those who are closest to you. What good is celebrating life if you can't do so with others? Your willingness to help other people is needed. Your willingness to help other people in need will be repaid to you in incredible, unexpected ways. Okay, I absolutely see where these are matching. It may seem strange bedfellows on the surface, but what I feel going on here is in a season, so Aquarius season, which means this reading is really focusing on February because we do move into the energy of Pisces on like the 19th. So whatever's coming in for you is like coming before Pisces season, I feel like. But what I'm feeling here in a solar season, so say it is Aquarius season when I'm putting this out. That's when on Earth, when we look at the sun, that is pulling us toward the part of the zodiac. So here's Earth, here's the sun, and then the zodiac goes around us. And so when we're looking at the sun from Earth, it's pulling us toward the Aquarian part of the zodiac. And so that's where we're reaching. That's where we're putting our light and our creativity, and there's some pressure there. Oppositely, when we turn away from the sun into the night, we see the part of the zodiac that we're actually traveling in, where Earth is, and that's always where the full moon of a season is going to be. And opposite Aquarius is Leo. And so I feel this cinnamon roll card as that Leo element, where the full moon is, where Earth is. And so where you can ground yourself to feel stable and nourished in order to feel the strength to reach and create. And so there's a deep balance needed for you in February to pay attention to both sides. And so really nourishing your heart, personal creativity, a sense of warmth and love and joy kind of in your foundations, in your private life. This is something that will really ground you, and you may be having events taking place that connect to heart and creativity that are especially coming in to ground you this season. And then that is giving you that stability to reach with a more electric vibe, with a more dissolved sense of ego, and connecting more to collective heart rather than personal heart, which gives you vision, which helps you to see where your unique colors color the whole of humanity. Like we all are made up of so many different colors and dimensions and exciting things, and that kind of soupy cauldron of the collective creates its own sort of creativity and heart. But knowing the ingredients of you, the colors of you that contribute to that. So like knowing that you're the cinnamon in that, or the cinnamon and turmeric and salt or something, like whatever your flavors are, like knowing what those are in order to really contribute to that collective heart and future. So I'm feeling this deep balance coming in for you this season, which is really helping you to create in very stable, empowering ways in that Aquarius vein of having vision for the future and really owning your originality and contributing to the world of that, of your original colors. Okay, let's do some tarot now to get a little more context here. Okay. Two of Swords. Knight of Grails. Three of Pentacles. And let's do one more. And Two of Spears. Okay. So jumping into February, you may feel a little bit like you're on the fence with certain things, deliberating, weighing and measuring, like what to take forward. And because this card image has sort of what feels like a coupling here, this could be more in relation to your heart, like that cinnamon roll place, your personal creativity and heart and love and joy. It's like something you're deliberating, you're weighing and measuring something about your heart, I feel like. And then let's look at these together. So you may feel on the fence about something, but I feel like you're going to have this inspiration that comes through at some point. And again, this is all before Pisces season starts, so before February 19th. Some inspiration is going to come through that will give you that spark to take action and to move through your heart with boldness and courage, and in this balanced way where you're really, grounded in some self-love and a loving nature, but asserting into the world and giving into the world and creating in the world with contribution in mind and envisioning in mind, and owning your whole self, being fearless about being original. So you may even be deliberating about like how to show your whole self or how to protect your personal heart. And something's going to give you the courage that these things can balance each other. You don't have to do one or the other. You can ground into personal heart in order to reach towards collective heart. But you're going to feel this impulse and that new spark to kind of take the leap. But you're going to do it in a very kind of heartfelt way. And this definitely shows the Three of Pentacles, like really coming into that Aquarius quality of being able to collaborate and work well with others and appreciate and value the uniqueness of others. Because you're valuing your own uniqueness, your own colors, your own originality, your own freak flag, you're starting to see others in a new light and recognize talents and beauties and contributions that they can make, and being able to kind of like pull people together to like bring out their own originality and let all of these are, like just this really creative, collaborative force helping to pull that knot. It's like you're courageous in bringing that out of yourself, and through that you're inspiring others to do that as well, which naturally, even if it isn't like some specific collaboration that you're involved in, it's just like collaborative in the sense that it's inspiring others to be their whole selves and to show their full spectrum of colors and to own their originality and uniqueness and things that aren't in line with the expected and in line with what the norm and the popular thing is. It's like empowering people to fly their own freak flag. So it just adds more flavor and color and beauty and possibility into life. And then to end, we've got that Two of Spears, which is about like a new path being born of this. So sometimes with the Aquarius impulse, it can be a little bit premature sometimes. But this is showing that whatever you are asserting into, because you did it in a grounded way, where you grounded into personal heart and personal creativity, you had the right grounding and stability to really launch whatever you take action on in like showing your originality and having a vision. It is something that is going to open a new path for you, open doors for you, open new paths for you. Really be that torch to lead you to a new way or a new opening or a new thing or a new sense of self, whatever it is, a new future, right? It is something that will have legs under it. So that's really cool. Okay, we're going to tap into the water element of the season with, in astrology, I really think of this quarter of like the Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces as like a water season. We've got the sea goat, the water bear, and the fish. So they're not all water signs, but they have this sort of water connection, and it's sort of this incubation time. So clear waters, clear vision. I love that. Vision, confirmation, right timing, and opportunity. And I really think it's you grounding into personal heart that really helps you to find that clear vision of originality and future. And the timing, yeah, and you're also like, the timing is perfect. Obviously, it's the season, so great. But then we see the opportunity that not only do you have a clear vision, but it actually has legs on it to give you an opportunity. And that may come down the road. This one may not appear in Imbolc. It may come at like spring equinox or just before. Even though I said this is all taking place in Aquarius season, it's like the seed is. But sometimes you plant the seed and it takes a little while. So trust whatever you're doing in Aquarius season, the vision that comes through in Aquarius season. So before February 19th, vision that comes through here. Be patient, because by or around spring equinox, that opportunity connected to that vision will appear. Bounteous, generously given, relationships coming together. Yeah, just having a very open spirit, open heart, willingness to share your originality, your uniqueness, what makes you different, what makes you kind of go your own way, is really opening something up in the people around you. And it's influencing, yeah, like I said, like them to open up to that in themselves, and it creates deeper relationships, it creates more generosity, and it creates more like community as well. So if you're thirsty for like friendship and group life, this would indicate that is coming. And then water codes, ancient wisdom, the intelligence is within you. I feel like this has something to do with the unique stuff coming out of you that you're starting to show and own and really put out there, is like some ancient wisdom that you're like, I don't know what this is grounded in. I might sound crazy for sharing these things coming through me. But it's all connected to an intelligence that will really be received and inspiring and really open others up to. So I think this is just some guidance to we already see that I think you're going to get there. You're really going to charge forward with it, but this is some guidance that, you know, whatever it is, you may initially feel stuck on a fence and deliberating about kind of using and showing and allowing to mingle with what kind of visions come through. It's like, really own that. Whatever this kind of intelligence that comes through you, that downloads, it's ancient wisdom from like past lives or your ancestry, something. So just own it, trust it, let it out. Okay, we're gonna get a couple of archetype cards. Woo! That's too many. To see if this can get a little more pointed about all of this, what it might have to do with. The Pilgrim. Yeah, this feels connected to this originality coming out of you. You may be connecting to a more spiritual side of yourself, and you may feel a call, part of the vision that comes through for you. Maybe this calling to visit somewhere, and that somewhere may have a connection to this ancient intelligence coming through, and until you visit it, you won't realize that it's that intelligence is some ancient wisdom from a time and place you have connection to through your roots or through a past life. And then the Sword. The way this wants to come through in this particular reading, it feels like the lightning strike and the cutting the cord of freeing yourself. This feels like freeing yourself of sitting on some kind of fence, freeing yourself to be your original colors and vibration, and to just cut the cord of caring what anyone else thinks, what anyone else is doing, what's expected of you, and just owning your electric vibration, and just charging forward with it, with heart and with love and with eagerness. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, let's get a Lightworker oracle card on top of that too. These cards are a little hard to get my hands around. Initiation by fire. Oh, I love it. So this is like, yeah, whatever kind of like downloaded intelligence and ancient wisdom's coming in, and this calling that you may feel either to go somewhere or to start studying something specific. You may feel like, oh, I don't know anything about this. I feel it in my vibration, like it's part of me. And this is saying like, jump in head first, dive in. You will learn about this and about these new colors coming through in you by asserting into whatever you're being called into. So instead of feeling like you need to study and understand and research and observe and be mentored, it's like, no, just jumping in feet first, really understanding this intelligence and wisdom and calling through jumping into it. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be anything. Just jump in. That's the calling there. Okay, a couple last things. We're going to tap into the Divine Feather Messenger to plug into the air quality that Imbolc brings, which is sort of spirit. We've got Owl. Your intuition is correct. Follow your inner wisdom without fail. So yeah, when you're deliberating, whatever you're sitting on the fence with, like, trust your intuition and follow that wisdom. Don't get your mind so entangled in pros and cons. Just go, just do it. Use the impulse and go. Well, I feel like this top card, Starling. Now is the time to get out into the world and connect in authentic ways. Like, everything's just urging you to push yourself outward, to show things, to jump into new callings and to create your own opportunities and to really show yourself, and whatever this new kind of fire and electric pulse that's flowing through you, just let it out kind of thing. And then Heron, let go of convention and follow your own unique path. I mean, that is an Aquarian message if ever there was one. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to do one last deck. We're going to do some tea leaf cards for just some more kind of poignant, specific messages for your month. Unicorn, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Right on top of the owl, your intuition is correct. Don't get your mind involved. Don't sit and deliberate and sit on the fence. Your intuition, your inner wisdom, your inner knowing, the impulse, jump, go. It's leading you where you're supposed to go. Tankard, celebration, fun, enjoyment. Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to be out, like this Starling says, out and connecting and inspiring and yeah, just moving in the world. And Club, someone will try to make you do something against your will. And this is all about owning your originality and breaking from convention. So whatever new thing you start pulling out of you, these new colors you start showing, these unconventional beats that are coming out of you, it may kind of take someone aback, and they may kind of try to bring you back into convention, or like, don't do that, or, you know, like there may be, to be honest, some stuffy people around you that don't understand what you're doing and wanting you to come back into conformity. That's what this feels like. And it's just like, no, done. You're cutting those cords. You're freeing yourself. It's not like you have to cut them from your life, but just don't let them hold sway over you or any cords to you. Like, cut any cords, any influence. Be you, be your originality, move through your impulses. Don't bother with the opinions and guidance and advice of others. Follow your own impulse. Okay, beautiful. Very exciting Imbolc for you guys. Of all of the piles, this one's sort of like just feels like an I mean, they all have beautiful messages, but this one feels electric to me, which I already felt with the Aquarius card when that initially came out. So anyway, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes and shares and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. And something I'm trying to be better at talking about and steering people toward is, I do also have a Substack, which is kind of like a newsletter platform where I put out a monthly astrological forecast, and for paid subscribers also sort of like by sign horoscopes and tarot scopes. But there's lots of beautiful free content as well with that monthly Substack or newsletter. So check that out. I put the link to that in my descriptions. Even though I've been doing cards for some time now and really love those and love doing this, my original kind of calling into mysticism was astrology, and it's something I've studied for like over 25 years. So I do love to also share that through my Substack and upcoming a website as well. That will be in the future. I'll let you know. Okay, anyway, have a beautiful February /Imbolc, and I hope to see you in future readings.